Bilingual. Okay. So, welcome to Just My Opinion. You like our office. This is our office. I wish I could do like a 360, but we don't need to do all that today. But thank you guys for joining us. I'm the Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
And we are so happy that you decided to join us once again. We've got some things to talk about. I got a person to put on the A train, maybe two. And yeah. And so we just want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy what we're about to talk about. So, since you brought this to my attention, I'll turn it over to the great hands of MT.
Well, baby. I actually was listening to a conservative talk show host. And for those of you who listen in enough know, I get my news from everywhere. I don't choose to get my news from one source because I need to know all perspectives to make a qualified opinion.
Right.
This show is called Just My Opinion, but we based our opinion in reality, in facts. And so as I was listening to this talk show host, they were talking about in the recent news all the allegations that have come out about all these people, sexual, misconduct and rape and, pedophilia, all this stuff coming out recently.
Yeah.
So he happened to be talking about Al Franken. And this was before Al Franken basically resigned.
Yeah.
But he was talking about it. And he talked about there is an actual disorder, an actual clinical disorder that basically in a nutshell what it means is in private you live one life, a secret life in private.
Right.
But in the public eye and all the people close to you think you're the total opposite.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the spectrum. It's like, you're Al Franken. I hate to say it, but dude,
Yeah.
so you are, in the public light, those closest to you think, oh, you're like for feminism, you're for rights for women, you're the champion of it, and you go hard for that. But in your private life, you out there groping people, and doing inappropriate things.
Right.
And the name of the disorder, what's it called?
It is called reactive formation.
Reactive formation, that's it. Thank goodness you're here. So I looked up this disorder and I was like, wow, like that describes a lot of people. Now, Al Franken have got caught, but on a lot of levels, there's a lot of people who are suffering from this disorder. There's levels to this thing.
Yeah.
It's, you don't just, not everybody's a groper.
Right.
Or a rapist,
right.
Or a murderer, because then you start getting into sociopaths and all that kind of stuff. But on a very basic human level, I know we all know somebody who we've heard some rumors about that they're doing one thing, especially in the gay community.
Yeah.
You're in the closet or whatever, so you think. And so you in one space, and the people closest to you, you're like, I can't stand gay people, and they should never give them the right to marry. But yet you got a lover or a partner, or you doing stuff that you
getting massages.
And other things. So that is basically in a nutshell what we're talking about today is this disorder, and there's a few people who fit the category perfectly.
Yeah.
And so I'll let you take over.
Well, now this is the thing. It's easy for us to pick out people who, let's say, anti-gay politicians who happen to be just what they're fighting against. It's easy for us to do that, but I wanted to go into one person.
Okay.
Matt Lauer. Now, Matty. Batty. I want to pick on him because basically one thing that he did. Now we've heard about the dark side of Matt. One of the things that he did, and I just read about it in 2014. He had an interview with Kirsten Gillibrand. She was a senator, Democratic senator, and she wrote a book. And in this book, she talks about how these things happen. And how someone made a comment about her, don't lose too much weight because I like them chubby. That kind of thing. It's like, well, why didn't you call them out on it? If this is going on, why didn't you say something? If you were worried about the people, you know, the young ladies coming behind you, why don't you say something? So people were like, wow, he just really went it, you know, laid into her.
Went hard on her.
Now, let's fast forward to 2017. And we find out Mr. Maddie got a button under his desk so you can't get out. But you all up in her grill. Well, why didn't you tell him? Why did you say, oh, you did? And you're doing the same
exact
thing.
Same thing.
So how is it that you can see it in other people, but you can't see what you're doing? Because, and the reason I say he can't see what he's doing, did you see his apology? Some of the things that they're accusing me of are incorrect or have been mischaracterized. Well, now. So now you're saying that people are lying on you, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Meredith Vieira. Now we know Meredith ain't lying on you. What she got to lie?
Right.
Come on, man. You was around there doing all kinds of stuff. The problem is, everybody knew it. And how is NBC now saying, well, we're looking into this, and if this is true, whoever knew about it's going to be gone. How many folks you ready to fire?
Right.
Who going to be on NBC after this?
Yeah, whole new
NBC
staff.
Today show. I mean, did Al know? You know, did Ann Curry know? And that's why they got rid of her, because you know the fight was between him and Ann, and she ended up crying and getting booted off the Today Show. You know that. So what does that say?
Right.
And so for me, it's like when you told me about this and I looked it up, it was just like bam. There's so many of these people out here doing this and pointing their finger at someone else, and then let me just, I like to read the medical definition. So excuse me for just one moment while I go.
While she's looking that up, I have a point to make about this.
Yeah.
Is we all do not like to be chastised. Like personally, in my life, I don't like being chastised. I don't like being told I'm wrong. Nothing really aggravates me more than somebody to be like, you're wrong. Okay, well, if you come at me with you're wrong, you better come at me with why, reasons, logic. Like, I need to know what did I really do?
Right.
So I can fix it. The whole point is I don't like being wrong. I want to fix it if I am wrong. So, and that's why we always ask our listeners to give us your comments. You know, whether you like us or not, just give us some feedback. We're big girls. We can take it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And generally, somebody that don't like us, but okay.
Yeah. But for growth to happen, you sometimes have to be chastised so that you can take a look at your actions and so that you can change if you need to change. Now, there are sometimes people come at you with you're wrong. They got no backup on that. They just gotta, it's a lot of this and not no real information.
Right.
But these, not only is the disorder bad enough, but the supporters of these people. I'm like, we got to, and after you read the definition, we got to talk about Roy Moore. We have to.
We've got
because he is the definition of this disorder.
Yeah.
Talking about, the Democrats and pointing fingers every which way with his little gun, pow, pow, but you was preying on kids at the high school hanging out with lollipops at the gym, R. Kelly. Just saying. So, you got a problem. You got a problem, but nobody wants to be chastised so we can be like, oh man, I was wrong. Let me take a look at my actions.
Right.
Now, I understand for political purposes, a lot of people don't apologize because it could lead to criminal charges.
Right.
I get that. But on a very personal level, nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to admit that they've done something as hypocritical and shameful as doing one thing, but then pretending to be somebody else.
Right.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right.
You know how it goes, Squirrel.
Yep, no problem. Okay. So, reaction formation is a kind of psychological defense mechanism in which a person perceives their true feelings or desires to be socially or in some cases legally unacceptable, and so they attempt to convince themselves or others that the opposite is true, often in a very exaggerated performance. So if you look at the anti-LGBT politicians, they go way overboard in trying to keep us from getting rights because they don't feel right within themselves.
Right.
So their way of dealing with it is saying it's wrong. I know it's wrong. So you are not going to get any rights because I am not going to be dealing with. Basically, I can't deal with this.
I can't deal with it.
I can't deal with this part of me. It's wrong, and you don't have any right to have any rights because it's wrong. And I'm like,
it's perfect. It's classic, is what
it is. It really is.
It is so classic because in our lives, especially when you're under the LGBTQIP, LMNOP rainbow flag. We come across people so often. Look at the Orlando shooter. Perfect example. It was obvious after the fact that the dude had issues about being gay. He had problems. That was his personal issue. And because he could not work that out within himself, he wanted to go shoot up a nightclub full of
those people. That part of him that he hates.
That part of him.
So let's kill this part of me, but really you don't.
Exactly.
If you keep living, it's gonna keep living. So you can kill up as many people as you want to, but that doesn't change who you are.
And the definition is interesting because it says you don't believe that you will be accepted socially, or you may have criminal, things come behind this. So that doesn't mean you don't feel like yourself personally, because you wouldn't be totally doing it if you felt that way. You know what I'm saying? But within yourself, there's that battle. That inner battle. And we see so many people struggling hard. You're a Christian and you're gay. Just like they told our friend with the You Right Project. She helps the homeless people.
Oh, yeah.
And this woman, she does above and beyond. Like, this is her gift, her mission. She goes out there and she goes hard for the homeless people.
Right.
She's out there getting donations, and she happens to be gay.
Right.
People were coming at her like, you can't be gay and help the homeless. You're not a Christian.
Does that make sense? I mean, really, you can't help somebody because you're gay. That makes sense to somebody.
Yeah, it does.
That makes sense to a Christian.
A lot of people.
That makes
Salvation
sense.
Army.
Well, I know they don't.
That's what I'm saying. The Salvation Army.
Catholic charities. Can't work for them. And Salvation Army not going to help you.
Yeah. So, I mean, these Christian organizations or, Christian Chick-fil-A. I mean, how many, we can go down a list of all these businesses who are like, well, we won't help the LGBT community. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand why. I know that you, in your hearts, many Christians believe that homosexuality is an abomination.
Yeah.
We know that. We understand that.
Yeah.
But if no sin is greater, what about those women who had abortions or divorcing? Kim, the lady who tried to not give the guy his gay. By the way, he's running against her.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting race to watch.
It is.
But, it's sad is what it is. When you are that torn between two worlds of living this way in private, because that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. And I mean, anybody generally who's been raised in church and finds themselves being attracted to the same gender understands. you're split within two worlds, and until you can reconcile,
Right.
who you are and be strong enough to walk in that, it kills you almost. It does.
Yes.
And so you find yourself doing secret stuff in a secret closet because being in church, you know how many of them hidden in the church.
But one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up is because I want you all to watch those people who are extra. Now, like with this disorder, because it's not just saying that you have this conflict. What it's also saying is that because you have the conflict, you go above and beyond to try to throw other people under the bus. Who are doing exactly what you're doing. So you gotta watch the motives of some of these people who are so extra. Mike Pence.
That dude. He countless.
Benjamin Buttons, that's what I call him. Because he is aging backwards. Baby, have you seen that hair? His hair is silver, but he look like he's 33. Something ain't right.
Well, I ain't gonna say nothing on Mr. Pence.
Benjamin Buttons. Yeah, we're gonna watch him. I got my eye on you. Because you go hard against the LGBT community.
Oh, yeah.
And we already know there's a pattern. This is what I don't get. I'm going to squirrel for 2 seconds.
All right.
This is what I don't get about people who support Trump and Republicans. Is that if you look at the patterns of behavior, okay, they haven't found no collusion of Trump and Russia. You're right. You're absolutely correct. Bob Mueller has not had his case made about collusion.
Not yet.
Not yet. We don't know yet. We don't know what he knows. But if you look at the pattern of behavior, look at the pattern. Look at all the signs and symptoms. And then they're like, well, Trump, he's all for women's rights.
Where?
Look at the pattern of behavior. We knew he was like, I'm sorry, but it goes way back to when he was doing his first interview. When he was married to, what was the other wife? And they had the baby girl.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was interviewing Marla.
Yeah.
But they were talking with him in the interview, and he's like, how's the baby? And this is what the daddy said. Now, how many of y'all daddies would have said this? She's a beautiful baby. She's just gorgeous. But I tell you what, we gotta wait and see if she's gonna, get like her mama.
Right. Really?
How many daddies? My
daddies,
father would never.
But how many daddies would hug their daughter the way he hugs Mark?
Okay, so like I said, patterns. Patterns here of behavior. So then when he came out with the Access Hollywood, it was like, it's easier to believe bad stuff about people when you have a history line. Now, I'm not saying that you can't change, you can't become different, but there goes a period of remorse and guilt and shame and dealing with it. When has Trump ever been remorseful?
Yeah. I don't think he doesn't know many words. So, but I don't think that would be something that he would know the meaning of. And let me turn this off. I'm sorry.
It's but it's just yet another example of what happens when you don't deal with your own personal issues.
Squirrel.
Okay.
Roy Moore and his supporters. I've heard so many of them not his supporters, but I've heard so many people down in Alabama saying, Doug Jones is a good man. I just can't bring myself to vote for a Democrat because of his abortion beliefs, right? So you are more concerned with a child that's not here than you are with the possibility of this man who chased little girls, the possibility of him being in power. You're more concerned with something that's not even here yet. So that's what gets me with these people. You know, you base everything on abortion. Doug Jones has done so much. He's not even a politician. He's a civil rights attorney. And for me, I'm really about to go squirrel out. Black people, get out there and vote.
Yes.
Come on, man. Y'all gonna let this dude get up in there, and then you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry, because really, Roy Moore is the dirt.
Yes.
The dirt. You know, and you guys are, oh, he's on the cross. He's being crucified. Really? There were a lot of people crucified. Not just Jesus. There were a lot of people being crucified, but he ain't one of them.
That's right.
What about the little girls? Why do you think they banned him from the mall? You guys are sick. I'm sorry.
No,
I went totally squirrel on it. But
valid point. That I have been trying to wrap my head around these people who are saying the same thing. I can't vote, for someone who's doesn't share my conservative Christian values. But my thing is this: it comes down to a very simple choice. Either you vote for the pedophile, or you don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pedophile. If you had a vote. If somebody gave you an option of senators for your state, and one of them was a pedophile, one of them, let's just say, was a rapist, one was a murderer, one was what else is bad? I don't know, anti-everything.
An atheist.
Yeah, an atheist. You don't like them people either.
Right.
Okay, and then you got one who is none of these things. It's not like the other. But see, that's the problem, is people have dug their heels in.
Right.
Ever since Trump was elected, even before he was, people started digging their heels in. And they've got blinders on when it comes to anything truthful. And that's what I don't get, because look, Obama was an awesome president to me. But Obama had flaws.
Yes, he did.
And I was more than willing
Right.
to take a look at his flaws
Right.
and to make evaluations on that. I don't feel like he did everything he could to help the black community.
No.
I don't think he did. I don't agree with I didn't agree with Obamacare. For real. I still got problems with Obamacare. But I was able to look at the man objectively, Democrat or Republican, and say specifically, this policy, that policy, these things, those things I can agree with, disagree with. People who are supporting Trump, and he is now at his lowest approval rate at 32%.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing he can do to make y'all even scratch your head and be like,
he said that. He said that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you don't believe us, we can put it up. When I put this, we can put that link up for you, so you can see what he said about you guys. He said, I could stand in the middle of the street, I can kill somebody.
They don't care.
You wouldn't care.
They don't care, just like they don't care about Roy Moore.
Right.
And his allegations. And I don't think it's so much that they don't care. I think it's, like I said, they've dug their heels in, and they believe that we need stronger borders, and they want to keep their guns. And I heard a dude literally say this today on a conservative talk show today. The man called in, they're talking about dude, 45, and he's like, I am a union worker. I support Trump because even though he has millions of dollars and he's probably a billionaire, he's just like us. He talks like us. He's one of the guys.
He's not one of you. Where does this come from? Because he's dumb? Because really, that's what you're saying. He's not one of the guys. He's dumb.
But I thought he connected with people on a level of ignorance, which actually was kind of brilliant. Yeah. I'll give him the Evil Genius Award. Because the locker room talk thing, if you're a guy and you don't really pay that close attention to politics, And and all of a sudden, everywhere you turn, they're talking about, yeah, Trump said he was going to grab him by the... You're like,
that's my dude.
That's my dude.
Right.
Yeah, grab him, like they feel like they're in the locker room with him. And guess what? That locker room that he's in at that country club that he owns, baby, you can't even get in there.
No.
You union workers, and matter of fact, if you do get in there, only thing you're going to do is work and then not get paid for it.
Right.
So but the disconnect, he said it, and I just was dumbfounded. I was like, you think he's like you? He's a billionaire, but he's like us.
And that's the thing. They think because he eats fast food, he's got a very bad diet. He eats fast food. He uses monosyllable words. One syllable words.
Ooh, Jesus, take all the wheels.
They can understand. Basically, it's like he's not talking down to us.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's what it is, because they felt like, and I might get, you might get mad at me when I say this. Mm-hmm. They felt Obama.
Yeah.
Was too, I don't know, educated maybe.
Yes.
Too highly educated.
Yes. Elite. They think of him as elitist.
And so when you have someone who's just regular, plain spoken, doesn't really jack around. Mm-hmm. He's like, he comes out and he says that's a bad day. That was a very bad thing. Mm-hmm. Very bad thing.
Right. Well, and then that's what everybody was saying. They like him because he speaks his mind. He just says it. Just speaks his mind. You ain't got to worry about what he's thinking because he gonna tweet it.
Exactly.
No matter what spews out of it, And it's just like, that's because we as a country have failed. We have failed to educate people. And we have failed, the church has failed, the education system has failed to let people be logical thinkers. You don't know how to process information that comes in. The church has been bad at it for... ever since the church has existed,
because they don't want you to be logical.
They do not want you to be a logical thinker. They don't want you to be a free thinker. They don't want you thinking outside the box. So you must have a leader that tells you what to do because you're too dumb to do it for yourself. But the minute that you start getting in and Googling and back in our day, it was Britannica.
Yeah.
My grandma would be like, go get me a book report. I'd be like, Granny.
Right. Childcraft.
Oh, goodness. Give me a 2-page book report. Like, okay, but we had to get information.
Right.
We had to write it down.
Right.
We had to access it. We had for truth and value and all those kind of things. And if you're not a person who does that right off the bat because you're just curious, whatever side you lean to, you're going to believe what your leader tells you.
Right.
And that's all you know. Is because if you listen to people on both sides, what do they say? They just regurgitate whatever the sound clip was for the past month.
Right.
How many times have we seen these like late night talk show hosts do on the street reporting? And they'll go around and they'll take a microphone and stick it in some Trump supporter's face. Do you think we should impeach Hillary? And they'll be like, lock her up, yeah, impeach her. And it's like, first of all, dum-dum, she's not impeachable. She's not in office. But what do they know? They know lock her up.
Right.
Because of the rallies.
Right.
They ain't got to think for themselves. They don't
sad. That's sad.
They don't even really know what impeachment means. All they know is that it's bad, and if it's bad, then they want it to happen to Hillary.
Right. And it's a sad situation that we're.
But we're in the information age. I keep telling y'all ain't got it. Oh, Jesus. You don't have to be stupid. It's a choice. It is a choice. Now, if you ever come on our page, we love everybody. We do. We don't have to agree with you to love you. Well, I disagree with a whole lot of people. Still love them. But let me tell you, if you come on our page, please come with something information-wise and not just we're idiots.
Yeah.
and we're dummies because one, we're not, and two, all you know is a sound bite. All you know is, and do you know, understand these sound bites were crafted? Lock her up. 3 words, easy to remember, chanted. They do that so that you'll remember it and that you'll use it on other people and in conversations. That is a media ploy. Okay, that was, like I said, evil genius on the part of 45 and his people to have these little soundbite pieces that his people can go out there and spout without having to know anything. But when you get into the meat of it, just like I heard them say today, oh, well, the tax reform bill is going to help the middle class. Kellyanne Conway said today.
Conway. Oh, I like that.
She said today, there's families out there working 3 jobs and they can't make ends meet, and all Trump wants to do is help those hardworking families. Lie. That's an alternative fact, Conway. Because we all know those that are looking at the bill understand. I had a conversation today with my clients. She's in college, graduate student. I said, do you know if they pass this tax reform bill, you will be taxed on your school tuition like it's earned income? Yes, that's in the tax bill. So all postgraduate students, your tuition, let's just say you're paying $15,000 a year, add that to how much you make a year, and then throw some taxes on it that you're supposed to pay.
See, how are they doing this? We squirrel for real. We're way off.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Because I was about to get into that because, I'm in school.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to do.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I did squirrel really hard
Yeah.
to the left.
Let's move back.
Okay, now we're going back. Sorry, let me fix myself. I got upset. Whew. Okay. My neck's shining. I think I'm okay now.
Okay.
Back to the topic at hand.
Well,
you were going to throw some people on the egg train.
Yes, I am.
But before you do that,
Okay.
I just want to mention 3 names. Now, look, there's some homework.
All right.
These names, you can go look it up for yourself.
Yeah.
People who have this disorder, who are anti-LGBT senators, who have got caught with the pants down with doing some nasty stuff with somebody of the same sex. Ralph Shorty. Look him up. In Ohio, Goodman. Recently busted.
Yep.
And let's go all the way back. Remember the dude who was at the airport who got caught in the airport bathroom?
Yeah.
That was 2007. So to prove my point, I'm just letting you know, it's not just a Democratic problem. It's not just a Republican problem. This is a people problem. That your perception and the people around you need to think you are just golden. But in the dark alleys, in the bathrooms, in the byways, and the sides of the highways, y'all doing some stuff that you know in your heart is deeply homosexual. And you just trying to throw everybody else around you under the bus to keep the spotlight off of you. It's not going to work. It never works. You got to get right within. What did Lauryn Hill say?
If it ain't right within.
Basically. So, on the train, who you got for the train?
First person I got is Tommy Lauren. You know her, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. We know her. I don't even have to explain who she is. If you've been around long enough, you know the little blonde conservative Barbie, right? All right.
Good one. I like that.
So she jumps on Beyonce for giving the award to Colin Kaepernick, and she calls Beyonce a police hater. And of course, the Beehive winning in on her, which I love reading those quotes. But she's going on the A train just for that because you're stupid. I've been really trying not to call folks out their name, but she's stupid. She's dumb, and she's getting paid a whole lot of money to be dumb.
Yeah, she is.
At 25 years old, she's getting paid a whole lot of money to spew her hatred and her ignorance because Beyonce and Colin Kaepernick have made it perfectly clear that they don't blame all police
That's right.
for what's happening. But there is racial injustice. in the way policing is done. And if we don't admit that, we're going to continue to see the things that we see. So for her to stand up there and say, is this what the country has come to? No, you're what the country has come to. You're what the country has come to. People like you getting up, talking about stuff they have no clue about. You know, just, I mean, you got a forum, and you call people police haters because, one, he's standing up for what's right. It has nothing to do with the police. Well, it does. But really, it's about racial injustice. That's what it's about. That's why he took the knee, and that's it. And for her, she presented an award. That's what she did. So you can get on there in the front, because I want you to see what's coming.
Front of the train you go.
Second, Roy Moore. Roy Moore, not because of the pedophilia.
Even though that's a good reason to send somebody to hell.
Well, he's alright. Did we already put him on there for that?
We probably put him on there.
Well, I'm gonna add him.
Make sure.
I'm gonna add to it. You know, just crush you down. It's like you said, Chris Michelle's trying to climb out. You know, he's trying to claw his way out. We're gonna get that big sledgehammer. You ever watch Futurama? Bender. You know when Bender can turn himself into a big old hammer or whatever?
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So he had.
Are you talking about his quote?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
I heard about that.
I'm sorry that bothered me so much. He had a rally, you know, whatever.
And the black dude, one black person there says, "Well, when do you think the last time America was great?" Well, I think it was great at the time when families were united. Even though we had slavery, they cared for one another. Our families were strong. Our country had a direction.
That's what he said.
Well, from a descendant of slaves to you, Mr. Lillywhite, I want you to join Tommy in the front of the train, because both of y'all need to see what's coming. Because that right there just tells me, and it should have told whoever asked that question, exactly what you think. You know, like they said, they like people because there's no secret. And there really is no secret. He feels that way, and that's just it. And for me, I'm like, I'm tired of these people getting up here saying what they want to say, and we're supposed to act like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And if I had a real train, your Lily White behind would be right there on it.
Yes,
Can't,
baby.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's an excellent point because, see, at least, like, I like my racism up front. I ain't gonna lie. I'd rather you be racist and just say it and let me know where you stand than you smile in my face, shake my hand, but then behind your back you talking that Klan stuff, you know, behind my back. So, yeah, he's still going on the train, but I appreciate his honesty because really when Trump said, I want to make America great again, that's what he meant. Was let's take it back to when there was slavery. They can't see that, I don't think.
It's white.
Yeah. Okay. That's what he meant. Right. He didn't say that, but you heard the expression dog whistles for those out there, and that's why the Klan and the David Dukes and everybody and the neo-Nazis grabbed on to Trump as a candidate because they heard that like, oh, let's take it back to slavery days. You know. We heard it too.
We heard it. And we
heard
knew.
it too. We knew what you meant. And Roy Moore at least had the unmitigated gall to say what he really felt. Which is things were better when slavery existed. Because blacks stayed in their place.
Basically.
That's what they wanted. They want us all to stay in our place, stay away from them, unless we making them some money.
Well, you know, he
brown folk. Anyway.
He called Native Americans reds and Asians yellows. I mean, come on, you know, it's right there. It's right there, and that's why that. Yeah, we're not gonna keep going because we.
So So, but I'm gonna end with saying this.
Okay.
We have a lot of listeners of different ethnic backgrounds, and we love y'all. And we appreciate you. What the people that are non-brown need to understand about gay people, about brown people, about all minorities is one, we're not going anywhere. We've been here since the beginning of time, and we're going to be here to the end.
Right.
Okay? It's like Cedric the Entertainer said, y'all go to the moon, we going to the moon too.
He did say that.
He said that. You know what I'm saying? You can't, first of all, no matter what in your little twisted mind you can come up with, you can never, never, never get rid of us. You brought some of us here on the boat.
Right.
You took over the land from the other people.
Right.
So we're here.
Deal with it.
Okay? The other thing is, I know that you're fearful. The Klan, the neo-Nazis, because you understand that your time is short. The anti-LGBT activists, your time is short. You're seeing and witnessing. That's why they're so angry.
Right.
Because Obama started pushing for rights, equality, all these type of things that you've held on to for so long, so tightly. And so you feel threatened and you feel scared and you feel like, well, I can't compete with them. You know, that's why they throw the Hispanics under the bus. Like, well, they're taking all our jobs.
Right.
Taking all our jobs. Okay, well, let me tell you something. The day of reckoning is coming. You're going to have to work for yourself. You're going to have to make your own money. And you're going to have to compete on a playing field of minorities. And I know you're not ready for that.
Y'all ain't ready.
You're not ready for that. Because guess what? We are fire tested.
Right. And that's the thing. That's the thing.
We are fire tested.
Right.
We done been through, you look, I've been called everything. I've been turned down for jobs.
Yep.
Because I'm black, because I'm a lesbian, because you don't like my palsy face. Whatever. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? We fight through it.
Yep.
We fight through it. All minorities know is when you throw some stuff at us, we duck and dodge, and next we keep pushing. We keep pushing, and we're not going to stop. So, yeah, that's something for y'all to be fearful of, because you're not ready to compete with us, because we are, what's the word I'm looking for? We are relentless. We're relentless. We're going to have rights. We are going to have equal rights. You're going to have to play fairly. Things are going to change. The police system and the injustices are going to change.
Just look at the sexual harassment stuff going on right now.
Yes, and not only that, we're coming for y'all. All y'all who think you've been getting away with all this stuff and, you know, talking this stuff behind closed doors. Now we got microphones, letting folk know who you really are. Folk getting busted left and right. Yeah, you're going to have to contend with the sins that you have committed. And it ain't going to be pretty for you. And I know you're scared, but guess what? Now's your chance. You can get out now. Every single Republican senator sitting there with these so-called conservative Christian values, y'all can leave now, because 2018 is not going to be pretty for you, baby. Look at what already happened in the polls and already happening across the United States with people flipping these seats that wasn't supposed to get flipped.
Right.
People are angry now. We figured it out.
People are woke.
They're woke, and when they start voting, there goes your little pretty house and your nice little car, and all the things that you skimmed and scammed and, you know, greediness. Yeah, look at the women that have flipped the seats. We changed, what state was that? Virginia?
Yeah.
Virginia, it was all old white men.
Yeah.
They flipped that to the minority female.
Yeah. And that's basically what's coming. It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of females coming.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say, you know, LGBT people have been through the ringer.
Oh yeah.
They know what it's like. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, we just happen to be African American or black or whatever you want to call us. We just happen to be that, but we're also part of that community. And so, you know, when you're part of a minority community, like you said, you are fire tested, because you have to rise up through all the crap that people say about you, that they try to do to you, you still have to make a life.
Yes. You
And
can't
when
just lay down.
No, and when you do it, and you do it within your own power and who you are, nothing else can stop you.
Nothing.
So, you know, when you're black and you're a woman and you're lesbian, well then you've been thrice, as Rose on Golden Girls would say, thrice tested.
That's right. and I'm sorry, but it builds character.
Yeah.
It builds strength.
Yeah.
You don't know this kind of strength. You really don't want to know this kind of strength.
No, let's end with this. What is your favorite teacher when she asks a question? How many of you would like to change places with somebody black? And nobody raises their hand, nobody stands up. Because the honest truth is, you know what's happening. That's it.
That's it, in a nutshell.
Boom. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm good.
This is kind of a long show, but
I'm sorry. We sorry. We get squirrel a little.
We did. We got squirrel. Both of us did. But I think I'm done. All right.
We love ya.
We do. Yeah. It's because we love you that we give you this information.
That's right.
And because we do love our country. And no matter what people say about us, we do love this country because we're Americans.
That's right.
We are. You can't change that. Regardless of what you may think, you can't change it. You can't ship us somewhere. You can't float us out into the Mars somewhere. We're here.
Yep.
And so, well, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope that we didn't chase anybody off. And I hope you guys keep listening. I'm the Spiritual Stud.
And I am MT, baby.
And we got to go play with Nika now.
Yeah. Bye.